I've done a couple of series here on my channel on property hierarchies, talking about how government acquire land, talking about how you can obtain CFO or governor's consent on the land, talking about the role of the deed of assignment or register survey when it comes to land documents. Now, in this episode, we'll be talking about freehold in Epe, or even the land status in Epe, which part of Epe is free, which part of Epe is committed, which part of Epe is non-committed acquisition. And you can also use this to also understand the things you need to ask when you want to buy a property in Epe, because that's where everyone is buying now. 850k, 1 million, 2 million, and we have a lot of estates even coming up with different the high-end ones, Simi Lagos, Dukia, Itunu, Future City, and so on and so forth like that. So it's very important that you understand the land status, how the land status of in Epe works, and different things you can ask your realtor, different things you can ask your lawyer, different things you can ask your surveyor when it comes to land in Epe. So in case you are coming across the video that is for the first time, please meet the property guy, and this is where we discuss everything in real estate for everyone. This channel is for everyone who have invested in real estate in Nigeria, everyone who are about to invest in real estate in Nigeria, and everyone wants to know as much as they can about what they are doing with their money, where they are putting their money, because you don't want to make wrong decisions with your hard-earned money. So we share tips, guides, and advice here on everything you need to know about documents, about titles, about locations, about return on investments, short let, buy and flip, off-plan, real estate companies, and so on. So you make better decisions, you invest better, you invest smarter, and you can protect your real estate investment. So after watching this particular guide, I also advise you go to our channel, watch our videos on Epe, watch our videos on short let, watch our videos on real estate companies. You are definitely going to learn a lot. So let's go into the topic, the land status. What's the land status of Epe like? Which one is forestry zone? Which one is agric zone? Which is it safe to buy social property? Is it not safe to buy social property in Epe? Now, I still know that even after this video, some people will still come to my DM, still send me flyer that, do you know this company, or do you know this social property? Is it safe? Is it good? Is the company legit? Is it all right, so let's go into the tabular diagram of the Epe land status, because as I've been doing for like almost a couple of my previous videos now, sharing tables for you to understand these things better, to see it in a diagram way and in a chart format how this land status is. I've shared some tables during the government acquisition part and doing the deed of assignment part, so some of these things I won't really explain it so deeply as before, because I feel like by now, come on, you guys are goons too, you are experts too now, but I've really passed a lot of information across to you guys, and I feel like you are well equipped with some certain things now. If you have been watching my video for 3 months, 6 months, there are some questions I don't expect you to be asking me again, but I feel you should know it by now, sincerely. And I feel like at some point I should start doing a test or an exam. Yeah, after this series I'll do an exam. I'll arrange a Google form, and then we have a quiz, just to be sure that the information that we passed across, you guys really understand this. So if you guys are going to take a quiz, you're going to take a quiz after the exam. You want gifts or you give me gifts. All right, so let's go into the tabular diagrams for Epe land status. So we have this. Some part of this is already clear by now. You should know it. If you don't know it, please check the description box below. I'll be sharing some links back to the part 1, part 2, part 3 of the property hierarchies. So I will suggest you first watch those part 1, part 2, part 3 before you come to this part 4. But this is part 4 of the property hierarchy series. So if you have missed part 1, or you missed part 3, or you missed part 2, go to the description, go and watch those ones first, for you to understand what I'm showing here, because some of the things here I won't be re-explaining. All right, so we have committed acquisition. Everybody should understand what we mean by committed acquisition by now. I'm not explaining it. Non-committed acquisition, everybody should also understand what we mean by that by now too. Then we have free. Everyone that have one part 1, part 2, part 3 should also understand what we mean by free by now too. Alright, so in Epe we have a subcategory for non-committed acquisition. We have the excision. We have the excision. Then we have a subcategory, zones. This is where it starts becoming interesting. We don't have this in Igbonla actually. So we have Agric zone, we have forestry zone, and we have military zone. All right. So then, getting out of the non-committed acquisition, at the top for gazette we have CFO/governor's consent. Then from the zones we have ratification/regularization. Then we have government allocation/CFO. Then for free we have CFO. Then at the apex of everybody we have the governor's consent. All right, is it understood? Should I explain? Let me explain. Okay. In the non-committed acquisition, I've explained that the government can acquire land and they don't have a specific purpose or specific use for that land yet. They only acquired it. So because they are trying to also prepare themselves for future use where they might need some land in that community or in that village. So if they acquire the land under non-committed acquisition and release some part to the family, they are going to give them what we call an excision. So there are also some part of Epe that has excision. Your realtor might not know, but it's true. There are parts of Epe that have excision. If you go to Igbonla in Epe, there's excision land in Igbonla. Alright, so we have part of part of Epe also that have excision. So, and remember, I've told you, whenever there's excision land in a place, it also means that there's also acquisition in that place. So whenever they tell you that the land has excision or the land has gazette, also know that some part of that community or some part of that village also belongs to the government. So you just want to be sure if the part that you are buying belongs to the community, not to the government. All right, so let's leave the excision part. We have talked about that in previous videos before. So let's go to the zones. Now, most of the land that you guys have bought in Epe in the past 1 year is not free land. It shock you? Alright, but in the past 1 year, even me myself, I have a land in Epe that is under Agric, like almost two land in Epe that is under Agric. Alright, so forget about the free that a lot of companies put on the flyer, or the freehold, or the research of it, or whatever you put there. Is when you start to do your search, then you are going to be realizing quite a number of things. When you see Agric, you see forestry, you see military zone, and you see residential zone. All right, so let me just explain what I mean by this. Now remember, the non-committed acquisition is the land the government have acquired, but they don't have a specific use for it yet. So most times when the government acquire this land, they don't compensate the family yet, because the land is still there. They have not decided on what to do with that land. So it's when they decide what to do with that land, they will not compensate the family. So it means that even despite the fact that the government have acquired the land, the family can still sell, because the government have not compensated them. So the family can still sell. So this applies for a lot of land in Ketu, a lot of land in Igbonla, a lot of land in Ilara, a lot of land in Odoragushi. This land, they are under acquisition, but the governments have not decided what to do with that land, so they have not compensated the family. The only thing they just do is that in the Lagos Masterplan, they create zones, forestry zones, agric zones, military zones in Epe. So, and then another smart thing the Lagos State government did was that they made these zones, they made it intertwined. So it's not like a community or a village is 100% agric, then another village or community is 100% forestry, then another village is 100% residential, which is the reasonable thing they should do, but they didn't do that. So in every community, in every village in Epe, they intertwine it. So some parts will be free, residential, some parts agric zone, some parts forestry zone. So it's hardly will you see a 20 acres of land that will be entirely free, and hardly will you see a 20 acres of land that will be entirely agric. And hardly you see a 20 acres of land that is entirely forestry. So it's going to be mixed. Some parts free residential, some parts agric, some parts forestry. And normally we would not want to sell a land for you and tell you that, okay, pick this part and then leave this part. No, they will sell everything together for you. You can start sorting the remaining. So most of the land that you guys have bought 800k, 900k, your realtor said it's free. Government does not have anything, it's free. Omo, na agric land you buy. Na agric land you buy. Or you buy forestry land. Some parts in Ketu, even this military zone is very common in Ketu, very common in Ketu. Once you are past that Ketu roundabout, a lot of land there are military zones. And companies they sell, they put their registered survey. Alright, so those are the three subdivisions. So what can you do after you bought an agric zone, or you bought a forestry zone, or you bought a military zone? So that's where ratification or regularization comes in. So you do ratification or regularization to get government allocation, and then from government allocation you perfect to CFO. Alright, so for the free land simply means the part that government do not put a zone. So it's very common in Epe. You see, you want to buy a land, you see the fence, there is maybe three plots together. One plot will fall under residential, the two plots will fall under agric, or the two plots will fall under forestry. You see 1 acre of land is 6 plots. 2 plots out of the 6 plots will fall under residential. 3 plots will fall under agric. 1 plot will fall under forestry. So it's always intertwined. Now, caveat emptor. It's not bad for you to buy a land that is agric zone, and it's not bad for you to buy a land that is forestry zone in Epe. Even most of the land in Epe that a lot of companies did CFO on, the land are not free, they are not residential. So, and that's why the companies, those that have CFO, are also selling very high, because they have had to do regularization or ratification on that land. So that's why they are selling at 20 million, 15 million, 100 million, whatever amount they are selling. So for a land that has forestry, or is forestry zone, or is agric zone, does not mean that you can perfect it. Just means that this time around you have to do regularization on that land. You get it now? Alright, so but if the land is free, residential free, no agric zone, no forestry zone, no military zone, that one is simple. You can just do CFO straight up. CFO. No regularization, no ratification is needed. Just CFO straight up. So, like I said before, it will be very, very hard for you to see a 20 acres or 10 acres of land in Epe that all the entire 20 acres is free or residential. These zones will always mix. Always. Except if the company are intentional about it. Like they just decide that they're not going to buy anything that is agric or forestry. It's always going to be residential. But most times when you search, which I have done, it always be some part agric, some part residential, some part agric, some part residential, some part forestry. Most times. Even me myself, I sold a 2 acres recently, and it's forestry zone. Even the investor bought another extra, is intending to buy another extra 1 acre, and it's forestry zone. And it's because we have done a search earlier. You see, it's forestry zone, and we are fine with doing the regularization to get it to CFO. So which is just like the difference, because I won't come to you and tell you that land is free, when I know that land is agric zone, or that is residential zone. So I will tell you beforehand that, Oga, this land is there's something we Yoruba call Ije, mini manimo. It's a mixed land though. Some part is residential, some part is agric, some part is forestry. When they are doing allocation, I can't guarantee is one part they will give you. Any part you won't fall into, you are going to do your documentation on it like that. Basically. Alright, so Let's go to the part of the table. So from free or residential, you can go to CFO straight up. No regularization or ratification needed. While for agric zone, forestry zone, the military zone, I'm skeptical about the military zone. And there are some companies, they get mind very well. They are selling military zone in Epe. I don't know. When a place in Lagos Masterplan show military zone, and when they sell them as estate, I don't know. But I don't get the mind, I can't sell military zone. But forestry zone or agric zone, I can sell it. I can buy it too. I've actually bought agric zone. And I will still buy my agric zone. Let me put it that way. So it's just ratification and regularization that you are going to do to your government allocation and then your CFO, definitely. And then eventually everything ends at governor consent. So if you don't have mind for all this wahala, just look for CFO land in Epe and buy. Like go for and get CFO. If you don't get CFO, Dukia is governor's consent. Well, you might want to reach me about Dukia anyway. There's one particular info about the property I will not want to share publicly. So then Dominion Foreshore is also CFO. We intend to deliver it CFO, definitely. So for Dominion Foreshore, we have charged the cost of CFO with the cost of the property that we are selling right now. So if you don't want all this ratification and regularization wahala, just look for a company that is selling CFO land. Or as you are buying from the company, tell them that can they help you with the ratification and regularization process. If they can, then fine, go on with them. Like I said before, forestry zone or agri zone doesn't mean that you should not buy, but you just have it in mind. Have it in mind that as I dey buy I go do regularization or I go do ratification unlike a free land. And those free is always very minor. As I said, it's always a gamble before you can see that free. Although I have like 3 or 4 estates in Epe that the entire estate is free. The entire estate, and it's free because the companies, they decide that they don't want an agric zone and they don't want the forest. So it took a whole lot of search. It took a whole lot of search for them before they could get that fully residential zone. No agric, no forestry, fully residential in Epe. I have. It's not cheap. So don't come to me with a 800k budget and 1 million budget and you want a full residential. You no go see. No be cause you no go see. Is either a agric zone you buy or forestry zone and you do your education and regularization. Alright, so basically if you are buying Epe land, this is what you need to know. So for committed acquisition, is obvious, is a no. A place where the government want to build a school, want to build a market, want to build whatever they want to build, you go and buy it, you waste money, they will chase you out. If the place has exhibition, you want to check the exhibition to be sure that is the part the government have released you are buying, not the part that the government have acquired. And lastly, if the place is under any of the zones, agric zone, forestry zone, I won't really advise anyone to buy a military zone. And trust me, some of you, my viewers, some of you that are viewing this video, you have bought a military zone in Epe. You have bought a military zone in Epe. I can guarantee you that you have bought a military zone in Epe. Like, I know a property sold out within 1 month, and it's military zone. Within 1 month, it's facing the Ketu road. Sold out within 1 month. Don't come to my DM and ask me. Go and get a surveyor and check your property. That's just it. Alright, so I'm not really confident and comfortable about military zones, but agric zone, forestry zone, you can always do your ratification and regularization. You can ask the company that, okay, if I buy this property from you guys, can you guys help me for the ratification of the regularization? Can you help me? Can you assist me in the process? If they say yes, fantastic. Just start the process immediately you finish your payment. And if luckily for you, like you were born under a lucky star, you bought and then the part they gave you is the free residential zone, baba, you can start your CFO sharply. And if you don't want any regularization process wahala, you have 2 choices. Either buy the one that have CFO already, which is always a bit pricey, or buy the one that is 100% residential. I have a couple of options like that, between like almost 4 million to 6 million. Yeah, 4 million to 6 million in Epe, all inclusive. 4 million to 6 million in Epe. That is 100% free. No regularization, no ratification needed. 100% free. All right, so now that you have understand the Epe land status, so when you want to buy land in Epe now, you know what to ask your realtor, you know what to expect after the surveyor have done the search. You know, you want to know if it's the free part, you want to know if it's the Agric zone, you want to know if it's military zone. I also want to know what you have to do next after you have bought this property. You know, that's there's this company that bought the Agric zone, and then they did the regularization, and then they get the government allocation on the land. They want the government allocation on the land. So basically, after the government allocation is just for them to do C4, to get C4 on the land. So a lot of these companies, they know what they are buying, and some of them are doing a couple of works on the documents, on the titles, just to ensure that at least you guys are protected on what you guys are investing. So if you have questions, feel free to drop a comment here. I always attend to my comments anytime, any day. Anytime you drop a comment, within 30 minutes, 20 minutes, your comment is always responded. So feel free to drop your comments. Feel free to also reach us. My number is also on my WhatsApp screen. Feel free to reach us. If you have questions, you have inquiries, you want to get contact on my surveyor, feel free. I will send his contact to you. He's a nice guy, going to help you with your search, help you to verify the property, and so on and so on like that. So if you have learned a lot from this video, give us a thumb like, and you don't want to miss out our subsequent videos. So you want to subscribe, you want to turn on your notification button. Don't forget, we have so much interesting topics coming. I will always share tips, guys, and for free. So you want to subscribe, you want to turn on the notification button. At some point, my guides will not be for free. I've been saying it for like a couple of months. You guys think I'm joking. At some point, my guides will not be for free. You have to pay for these guides. So now that it's still free, subscribe, turn on the notification button. You are still watching it for free. And as I said before, I would likely also organize a quiz, a simple quiz, just to check our knowledge from the different things that I've explained about acquisition, completed acquisition, acquisition, deed of assignment, CO, full governor's consent. So maybe just 20 questions, 15 questions, 30 questions, just for everyone to answer, and then see that, okay, you guys are really understanding the information that we are sharing here, and then you guys are really following through with these information. So I see many of my property guys on the planet, your property advisor, about the consultant, Rabi Mustafa. Thanks once again for watching our videos. Thanks for the time. Thanks for being a big fan and a big loyal follower of Meet the Property Guy. And trust me, you have very fantastic and very interesting topics coming. See you next time.